Hello Pixies, and welcome to or back to my channel, and welcome to day 5 of March of the Fairies. I really hope that you are enjoying the videos so far this week, and I'm super excited to be doing the 5th prompt of this video, which is read a fairy book with a winter setting. Now, if this is the first video you're coming across, hello, I'm Zoe, and March of the Fairies reading challenge is just a simple March reading challenge where we read fairy books for the month of March. We had a bunch of different prompts, and I will link my introduction video up in the cards in case you're interested in learning a bit more about it. But today we are tackling with books set in winter, and we're going to be reading these 2 books, and I am pretty excited about both of them. If you are a member of my channel and you watch a lot of my videos, then this might look familiar because this book was actually in episode 3 of Are These Books Comparable for A River Enchanted. I'm reading both at the same time, so if you really want my in-depth thoughts on this book, you can go and check out that video. But I'll be reading this book and just giving you whether I enjoy it or not in this video. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. We are following Emily Wilde, and she is a very well-respected researcher and academic of fairies and fairy lore, because even though this is set in our world, I believe the fairies are real, and she is a researcher of them, and she is putting together the first encyclopedia of fairies, which leads her to a small town to study the hidden ones. And while she's a really good researcher and she loves books and her dog, she's not really that good with people. So when her academic rival arrives, Wendell Bambley, I believe is how it's pronounced, she gets thrown off her game and she believes he is befriending the townfolk and messing up her research on purpose. So she's studying the secrets of the hidden one, but also trying to unravel the secret of Wendell. I think this sounds really good, and I've heard it is set during the winter, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm just looking for a good magical time, so yeah, there's that. And the other book we're actually going to be reading for this vlog is Quicksilver. Now, I don't know if this is technically set during the winter, but hear me out. In this book, we follow Ceres Fane, and she lives in this desert world, and she has a hidden power that she doesn't really let anyone know about, but she's also a common thief. But then when she comes face to face with Death himself, she accidentally opens a gateway into another world and falls through, and this is a world of ice and snow, and also houses the creatures that are the Fae, which she thought were stuff of myth. But from what she knows of those stories is that Fae are very dangerous. So she binds herself to King Fisher, who is a handsome Fae warrior who wants to use her powers. And that's kind of all I know about this book going in, other than this has been kind of an internet sensation, which makes me a little bit wary, but also a little bit curious. And I'm putting this in the winter section because I want to read this, and also she goes to a land of ice and snow, and even though it's not technically winter, we can count it. We can fudge the rules. The rules are pretty loose to begin with, honestly, so I'm also going to be reading this book, and I'm also going to be reading this book because I actually joined a book club near me, and this is the book for the month of March, so I really want to read it, and I want to read it before the book club date. And these are the 2 books. I'm pretty excited about these. I'm actually planning on starting Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies today. So when I have an update on any of my thoughts or want to share something that I'm doing with you, I'll see you then. So let's just get started with the video. am over halfway through Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I'm having a really good time, and this book is definitely wintry vibes. Even though we technically start the journey of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies in October, so like in the fall, we are in a very, very cold part of the world, which I've actually learned isn't in Sweden, but actually on an island off the coast of Norway, or at least maybe it was, because it seems like a different nation, but I haven't ever heard of this nation, so maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe it's actually Iceland now? I actually don't know. If I'm uneducated, you can feel free to correct me, or maybe I'll just go look it up, because it's not your responsibility to tell me. And so, because it's so far up north, it's already like more like wintry than fall-ish, and we've just been getting more and more into winter. And this is a really good, whimsical, fun time. I thought maybe the journal aspect of it would irritate me a little bit, because I haven't read a book that was written in the style of a journal in like a very, very long time, and like the only ones I've actually read that are in the style of a journal are just plain historical fiction that I read as a child. I don't remember what the book was called or anything, because journal entry books just aren't really super my thing, but I'm having a really good time reading this actually, and this kind of falls into that historical fiction era because this is set in 1909, even though this world is very different from our world. Actually, this book slightly reminds me of The Fairy Bargains of Prospect Hill. I think it's going to be kind of a slow burn romance between Emily and Wendell, because at this point, like, Wendell's convinced that they're friends. I think she also thinks of him as her friend. The cat's in front of the light source. Sorry about that. She considers him her friend too, but she has just gotten the confirmation that what she has believed to be true, well, not just happened a little while ago, but now she knows that's a fact, and it's kind of changing her perception of him a little bit, and she's learning more and more about him now that she knows that he knows that she knows that she knows, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. I think this is a fairly easy book to read. Like I said, I'm almost done with it. I only started it late last night. So, yeah, I'm having a good time. When I have more thoughts on this, I will tell you. I'm also probably going to start Quicksilver soon. And just do and share with you whatever I feel like. So, when I'm doing something, or when I have things to chat about, I'll see you again. Hello, it's update time because I have finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really, really good. It was a really fun, good time. It was quite an easy read. We get some more action at the end, which was really quite pleasant, honestly. I liked that we got more action and more of her being involved with her research subjects at the end, I think. And like, she's recording at the end, but she's like kind of out of it, which is like good detail. And I like that she just left off at the journal like with a word, and then the next entry is just like, I don't remember what I was thinking about. I don't remember what I was supposed to write next. So there's that, because I saw that it was an abrupt end. I flipped the page and there was no continuation of the sentence. It was just the next chapter. And I was like, what happened? And then like, it's literally in the text. Like, do you know how clever that is? That's a really fun, good time. And I really, really enjoyed the end of this. I wish we got a little bit more at the end of maybe seeing them at the conference. But I know it's not really about that, and this is a journal about this particular trip. And I'm definitely going to be continuing on with the Emily Wilde series. I have Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands and The Other Room. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be getting around to it in March of the Fairies, but maybe you'll see it at some other point in some other video this year. But yeah, I'm really excited to be continuing it. I love Emily as a character, but like, I am a Wendell fan. He's just so dramatic. It kind of reminds me of Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. Like, at least the Studio Ghibli version of Howl, because I've read the book, but it was a pretty long time ago, but I remember loving the book. I need to reread it. It's actually in my shelf, and I also have a copy at my parents' house. So I should really reread that at some point. but that doesn't really matter right now. But kind of reminds me of Studio Ghibli Howl, and kind of about the sorcerer and in Half a Soul, which is also kind of reminds me of. This reminds me of The Fairy Bargains of Prospect Hill meets Half a Soul. So the book I'm going to be reading next for this vlog, hopefully, is going to be Quicksilver, which isn't a book I really expected to read, but it is the pick for the book club that I joined. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it to that book club meeting at this point in time, even though I really, really want to go, and I got that book just so I could go to the book club. I don't know how it's gonna go. We're gonna see what I think about it. When I have something interesting or when I've started Quicksilver, I will update the video. Hello. It has been a while since I've updated this vlog because I've just been reading other things for March of the Fairies, and while I had a really good time with Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and that was like the perfect wintry fairy book, I mentioned that I was going to read Quicksilver as my next wintry one because she gets transported into a land of like ice and snow. And even though it might not technically be specifically winter, it might be more of a wintry landscape, I thought that would fit enough. But I never ended up picking it up, even though it was the book clubs I joined, book of the month. I didn't even end up going to the book club because it's been that long since I've updated. Like, the book club has already happened, I didn't go. Maybe April, but the book they picked for April, I really don't want to read, so maybe May I'll go. But anyways, that's besides the point. But I never picked up Quicksilver because I really do want to read it, because I want to see what everyone's talking about. Like, I've seen so many people who I follow online enjoy it, so I'm like, maybe I would enjoy it too. Maybe not, but maybe I would enjoy it. But it's such a thick book, and my reading's kind of stacked this month for March, and just starting a really thick book seems really intimidating, so I just put it off, I've read almost every other book from March of the Fairies other than that. And then I thought, what if I just don't read that? Maybe I should read something else. And I have decided to read a book that is not wintry, and the book I'm going to be reading is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, I believe. And this is a library copy, which is why it's so shiny. And this book came out in February, and when I heard about it, it seemed right up my alley, and I really wanted to read it. And this is more of a historical setting, but my historical video went up the other day. That was a very specific video, not enough time to read this in there, so I thought I was just gonna skip it and read it at some point later. But then this book was staring at me at the library, and it was staring at me for days. I was like, you know what, I have to get it. So I got it. And I'm very, very excited about it. And I was even thinking that I would just read this in general in March and not really film it, and I would pick a different wintry fairy book because I have Curse of the Wolf King in there that I could read. That's a winter setting, but I don't want to read that right now. I could reread Winter Song. I don't want to read that right now because I'm being picky. And at the library, I looked up, and my local library system, this isn't my local library, but just a different library. There's multiple libraries. It's weird. Whatever. Anyways, my local library system, they have The North Wind, which has Fae in it. And so I put that on hold, but both copies that the library system has are actually checked out to people right now, and I just don't have forever to wait. So I will read that at some point this spring, but I'm just gonna read this for the video because it's not like it's against the rules or anything. I already read a wintry book, but I don't really want to stop the vlog, and I just want to read this one. So this is like a bonus extra historical fiction in case you weren't into the video I put up the other day for the historical vlog. It's not historical vlog, for the historical prompt. I'm really proud of that video. It is like more of an analysis, so not a reading vlog. But if you want to see a reading vlog with historical, I'm just going to read this book. And let me read you the description for this. It says, every citizen of England is granted one bargain from their immortal Fae Queen. High society girls are expected to bargain for qualities that will win them suitors. A rare talent for piano in exchange for one's happiest childhood memory, a perfect smile for one's ability to taste. But Ivy's debut season arrives with a shocking twist, a competition to marry the Queen's Fae son, Prince Bram. It's a prize that could save Ivy's family from ruin and free her older sister from the bargain that destroyed her. Yet, every glittering Fae deal has a rotting heart, and amidst lavish balls, vicious competition, and a dangerous alliance with the prince's rakish younger brother, Prince Emmett, Ivy realizes that at the center of this contest lies a dark plot that could destroy all of England, and all her heart with it. This sounds exactly up my alley, so I'm gonna read this book. I'm gonna start reading it after I finish this clip. I'm really excited about it. I really hope it's good. I think this is gonna be a duology. I don't know. But I'm really, really excited about it. Let's just read this book, shall we? Hello. It's later in the day. I had really basic frozen pizza dinner because I was busy, so we were in the kitchen because it's way too late to film in the other room because the light in there is insanely yellow and there's not an ounce of daylight left. And I am over halfway through the Rose Bargain, but I'm on page 208 of 380 something. And I'm having a good time with this book, but I won't say that I'm having the best time ever with this book. And like, it disappoints me slightly, but at the same time, I'm also enjoying it. This book, it's kind of reminding me of Red Queen in some ways. And I don't know if I should really dive into that because I feel like that kind of contains spoilers, but just know I'm kind of giving the vibe of Red Queen, that if you enjoy Red Queen, there's a high chance you would enjoy this. And there's a lot about this book that I'm really enjoying. But there are also aspects of this book that I'm not enjoying. And I think it has to do with kind of the language and the tone of the book. Is because like this is set during the 1800s, but it's like in an alternate universe where like the fairies are real and a fairy has been ruling England for like over 4 centuries. So like things like iron don't exist, so like the railway isn't gonna be made out of iron if it even exists at all, and England has become very isolated, blah blah blah, whatever, you get it. But sometimes the way the characters speak and act just doesn't make sense for the time period. And I recently read Half a Soul and The Witch Would Not, both by Olivia Atwater, and those are both also historical fantasy books that are both actually set in England. But I feel like even though those might not be perfect for all of those reasons, like I feel like she gets the essence of the time very well, and I also know that Atwater has worked a lot with history, and I feel like this person wanted to write something during the time period, but didn't really do the research to how people talked during that time period. Like an example of this is that it says at one point, something very similar to this, but it does use this word, but it says that the party was going to rage until sunrise. I don't think in the 1800s they would have use the word rage or raged in terms of a party. That just doesn't make sense. And there's another point where the main character, she says, "You got it, boss." Why would she say that? She's supposed to be the daughter of a Marquess that is doing very, very badly. Her entire family is doing badly and have been kind of shunned up until this competition between the girls. And so I feel like she's just supposed to act a certain way that she's not acting, but at the same time I am enjoying the story because other parts of the story I really enjoy. Like I'm enjoying like this competition aspect, I'm enjoying the world building, and I like the writing style overall. I just have some issues with it, which means it's not gonna be like my absolute favorite, but I do think it's fun and I'm having a fun time overall. Sometimes I get a little confused because it's like the chapter title and it's told in the first person and everything, and then some chapters it's one of the other girls she's competing against, one of the other 5, and we get their perspective, and it's just like, why? Like it kind of throws me off, but at the same time we learn more about them when we get to see that. But I feel like we just could have learned more about them and learned these things through the character instead of through their actual characters, if that makes sense, like through the main character instead of through their actual characters. And that's kind of how I'm feeling on the Rose Bargain. There's parts I really like, there's parts I don't really like, and parts I'm just like, that's whatever. And the whatever parts are the action parts, but it's very, very difficult to write action. I don't feel like the author has nailed it, but I don't think they've done a horrible job either, if that makes sense. But I'm excited to see where the story goes and how we end, because I think this is going to be a duology, so I'm hoping for some really good pacing here at the end. And I'll probably update you at another time. And also, we still have to do our prompt, read a book outside. So that is also going to be happening, hopefully, in the next clip while I read part of this book. And hopefully, just in general, we'll be done with this book soon. And yeah, and I'll do some other stuff tomorrow. But I don't know what that will be yet. So I guess I don't know what's going to happen, but you're about to see it right now. Hello, it is the next day. I actually don't have an update on the Rose Bargain. I haven't read any more since I talked to you because I decided this morning to do something different, and that is to make bookmarks. Before this clip, perhaps, you would have seen me making the bookmarks for the hyper-specific books, and I think I voiced over it, but maybe I didn't. It all just, depends, but you saw me make these two, which they're double-sided, so it's 4. I wasn't really planning on doing bookmarks for this vlog. I thought the bookmarks would be for tomorrow's video, but instead of reading outside in this one, we're actually making bookmarks, and reading outside will be instead in tomorrow's video. And the reason for that is that I thought it would take less time than it did, and I don't know why I thought it would take less time. I even got up early. I got dressed, and I got the stuff ready to make bookmarks, and by then it was 10-ish by the time I got all the stuff out. And I thought, oh, I'll make bookmarks, then I'll do my makeup, I'll start filming that video, I'll read the entirety of the book I'm reading for tomorrow, and then I'll still have time to do stuff because the book I'm reading tomorrow isn't the longest, and I am a fast reader if I just sit down and read. So I thought that would be great, and I'm gonna have a great day, and then I'll just have a video, and then I'll just finish off this video the next day. That didn't happen because I proceeded to make bookmarks for the past 6 hours. Because yes, making bookmarks takes a long time, but I still really think it's a fun activity. And so, I made the super themed ones, which was for the prompt, because I did have one of the activity prompts be make bookmarks based off of the fairy books you read. I don't remember my exact wording. And that's what I did for these ones, and I think they came out super, super cute. So obviously I did this one, and this was my Half a Soul inspired one. And then the other side I actually did Wings of Starlight, and I know that I didn't read Wings of Starlight during March of the Fairies. I read it before March of the Fairies, but it's still my favorite fairy book of the year, and I make the rules because this is my channel and I can do what I want. And then this really cemented that maybe I should just include this in this video because this bookmark is both the books that I read / am reading for this video, because on this side I have Emily Wilde's, we have the tree, we have the trunk because they're traveling, and we have a mirror because Wendell is obsessed with his own reflection, and mirrors are a small part but still present in Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And then on this side, even though I haven't finished The Rose Bargain yet, I know I'm going to enjoy the book. I don't think I can rate it below a 7. I have this, and then I have the quote from the beginning because I absolutely loved it. And it was, "The war was over and Britain had a new queen, immortal, uncrossable, inevitable." And I really loved it, and I really love this pixie fairy-y lady and like the rainbow sparkle and like, but also with the vintagey pinky paper. I really thought it would fit the Rose Bargain well. And those were the ones I made that are super cute. And I just showed you me putting the stickers on this one because the setup is way too hard. Like, I can't figure out how to set up things where you can actually see the thing I'm making, and so that I'm not extraordinarily uncomfortable, because when I was making these, I was really uncomfortable because I had to sit weirdly far away and everything. And then I showed you with me making these two, which were the ones I had left. This was one I had cut out. This was a scrap piece. And that was me being comfortable, but you can't really see what I'm doing, but you see more so of the whole process with cutting out the paper and choosing the things that go on here. But I have this pretty castle and key one. I am very happy with it. And on the other side, we just got some flowers and some gold. Quite like it, it's just pretty. And then we have this little guy with the scraps of some of the other bookmarks. And I think it's quite cute. And these were the ones I made this morning that are just fun springy ones. I really love this one because we have another one of those beautiful ladies. And I just really, really love how this side turned out. But I also love how this side turned out. We have another castle with some butterflies and a flower. Very cute. Very fun. And then I made this little guy. We got butterfly with more of that swampy, foresty paper that I used a lot. I used this whole sheet actually because it was a small sheet. And on this side, we have a cutesy little unicorn on some chick paper. Like, how cute. This one's one of my favorites because this is another unicorn frolicking in a field with bunny rabbits. And like, I love bunnies. That's why my ending card is bunnies, and like my channel banner. I love them. They're so cute. And on this side is another unicorn with a rainbow, and there's on a cloud, and there's a star, and I think it's really, really adorable. And I love it a lot. And then the last one, on this side, we have another beautiful castle. This one looks like a Disney castle. And we got another beautiful pinky orangey unicorn. Like, I just had a fun day making these springy bookmarks. You saw the process for some of them all the way through, and you specifically saw me putting together the stickers and stuff for the themed ones. So we have accomplished the prompt. We have some springy fairy bookmarks. I thought I would use more of my fairy stickers, honestly, but like, whatever. It fits the vibe. It's just cute and springy. And what I really want to do is make more bookmarks and more unicorn bookmarks specifically, because I thought that would be fun. But I'm tired. I spent a really long time making bookmarks. I just don't have it in me to make any more today. Maybe I'll make some more at another point. I don't know if I'll film it because I just can't figure out how to film it. If you have any advice on how to film like reading journal content or crafty content, let me know. Like, advice on like setup, because I just can't figure it out. I don't know how all the girlies do it. I really, really don't. But I want to. It just hasn't worked out for me. Now what I'm going to do for the rest of the night is I'm going to make dinner. I'm going to finish The Rose Bargain, and maybe I'll either watch a movie or play a game or something with my partner. And yeah, that's kind of it for now. So I'll catch you when I'm doing something interesting. Hello, Pixies. I have finished The Rose Bargain, and honestly, I loved the ending of this book. Like the last 100 pages just really hit. We really got action. We had things happening, unexpected things happening. I love a good plot twist. And this pushed me over the edge in my rating of giving a better rating versus maybe what I would have if the 100 pages weren't like that. And I know I had some complaints earlier, and I still have some complaints about the language, but also this is a YA novel, and I think I'm just being influenced because I've read a lot of historical fae fiction this month that have all been adult novels. So maybe the expectation is actually in the age category. And maybe I shouldn't really complain about it. So there's that, even though it did bother me a little bit. The pace is very fast, but once again, this is a YA novel. I wish it were a bit slower, but like, it's fine. Overall, it really is. It's fine. And there's parts in the fast-paced parts that I really like. So there is that. And I got used to the other sections with the other girls. I actually wish it had happened more instead of just having like one chapter each, if that makes sense. Like, I just want a little bit more, but I had a really good time. And again, the ending is exactly what I'm looking for. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Rose Bargain, which means we have come to the end of the vlog because I've finished 2 books. If I had planned it earlier, maybe I would have tried to read a fairy book in every season, but I didn't think that far ahead. So here we are reading a wintry book and a springy book. And I had a good time with both of them. I actually gave them both the same rating, even though I liked them for different reasons. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it so much. And you can subscribe if you want to see the last couple days of my March of the Fairies content, or just see whatever else I get up to. And I guess that's it. So I guess I'm signing off now. Okay, bye.